One of the things I like about the Delem controls is the ease of use. If I want to come here and I want to bring a part that I drew on the computer through the Delem Profile S or Profile 3D software, or even a third-party software, all I need to do is bring it in through the USB right here. Or I can route it in with the Ethernet cable and send it directly to the control. However, if I don't have those options and I need to just draw a new part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to New Product, and we're going to put in Test 2. Okay? And product description, I'm going to say video. Now, my material thickness, I want, that's very thin. We're going to go 125. I want aluminum. So it will give you some choices of material, but what you can do is if you have copper or bronze or some other type of metal, you can actually put it in here, and I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. But aluminum, my bending length, I am going to be bending a 72-inch 0.5 part, so very long part. Outer dimensions, I want to keep it. Radius and bend allowance, I want to be calculated. So now I come here to my part, and this is a very simple part. All I need right here, I only need I will do 3 inches, and I will set my radius here to 87. All right, now I can come down here and I have a longer flange here of 4.5 inches. Now we can take a look at my part here. I have 2 bends. Now I want to foil it, so what that means, I have now set this, we can say this is my top piece, right? And my top piece is going to be this color. So now I'll come over here to tool setup. I can go through my tools. We have to make sure, since we have the ProMechan quick clamps here, that we have it there. We have the punch. We have my V-die, and it's set for the right size. And then we have our riser. So if we take out the riser and just the machine thinks we only have a V-die in, it's going to throw everything off. It's a big mess. So we go to bend sequence, and we're going to do a manual. So bend sequence, I only have 2 bends, and what this is telling me is the first bend looks good, so we're going to bend it. All right, we're good. And the second bend is also going to be good. So the second bend is also going to be good. So we're ready to bend, right? Now if I want to see this in 3D, this is what my part is going to look like. This is one of the things I really do like about the 3D Delem. So it'll show me my throat. This is the exact throat of what we have, which is a 16-inch throat on here. But I want to remove that. I just want to see where my fingers are going to go. So let's unbend. And you can see my fingers actually moved. So this is great for new users of CNC control press brakes. I can essentially just put my material up to what the screen is telling me. So we are good. We are ready to bend. All right, so bend sequence checks out. We're gonna go to programs, air bend, everything is good. The amount of force we're gonna use for this material is actually just gonna be 28.1 US tons, which is well within the 150 tons that this machine is capable of. So we are ready to bend. We're gonna go to auto, and I want to see it in the graphical way, just like this. So perfect. All right, can turn it on. The back gauge, what you just heard right there, the back gauge actually came up because it's ready for my first bend. And we're going to go ahead and start bending. You'll see the speed comes down, and it slows to go into the bending speed. Back gauge is now backed off, so now we are ready for bend number 2. Comes down, slows for bending speed, comes up. And you can see how quiet it is. So now my back gauge has come up, and it is ready for the next part. Very quiet, very fast, and very repeatable. So say I want to manually bend, and I want to bottom. Yeah, we're going to bottom, okay? So we're going to say our part is 24 inches, okay? Product positioning, yeah, that's actually good, right at 49 inches. So what that means is it is 49 inches from the start of the bed, okay? My angle, we're just gonna do, yeah, we're gonna do the 85. Now this is telling me that it's gonna need 27.9 US tons, which we are totally within. Speed and decomp speed, everything looks good. We could manually position, so what that means is I could come here and I can move this all manually, but we're not going to. Corrections, everything is good. Let's bend. All right, so you see the back gauge goes right to where I told it to go. And now we're gonna come down, we're gonna start bending. All right, so now I've changed the bending length and the product position. See what goes? Yep, there we go. So the fingers come over to where I want it to go, and that is great for if I am doing multiple stations on the same press break. So say I'm making a box and I want to do specific tooling here, specific tooling there, and so on. So now, come over, we're ready to bend. Goes into my bending speed, and back up. Very quiet, very fast, very repetitive. It's great. So, now in the settings screen, we can select it from inch to millimeters. Some people want to use millimeters, all the engineers out there. Materials, this is where I can load different materials. So if I wanted to come in here, create the material name, I can go into the tensile strength. So it is important that when you get your material in, you want to check all the specs on it and make sure you enter it correctly, because otherwise it may not give you a perfect 90-degree bend because of hard spots or something like that. So backup restore, if I accidentally deleted products, tools, I could come in, I could restore them to the previous settings that it was once saved. So as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. These are very nice controls. Most other manufacturers really base their proprietary controls off of the Delem system anyways. So, all right, I'll come over here to machine. If I want to load new dies, I can do it a couple ways. I can create my own die, or I go to draw it, and we'll just do test. All right, accept, and we'll keep all that. So basically, I have to come in here, I have to do all the dimensions. All right, now I will come in here, and I will draw I will draw what my tooling is by going to different data sets. Now, this is kind of a pain. You really have to be accurate with how you're measuring your punch, but it is the easiest way to do it is to when you get new tooling, to just do a DXF or step file into this machine. So same thing with the dies. We have all 4 of our V dies for the 4-way already in here. Your adapter, both your American and riser are all in. Back gauge, so this is set up with the Ermaksan II back gauge, which is the X prime, and we can set our gauge positions 1, 2, and 3 to where we want the material to sit on the press brake, and we can do that for a couple reasons. Obviously, if I move the back gauge all the way back, I'm getting more back gauge usage if I put it on the very back stop than if I'm putting it up front. So if you need all 39 inches of that back gauge, you're going to put it on the 3rd bump there. All right, position corrections, this is something that you may have to do, but usually not. You kind of usually just leave that as it is. So I'm gonna come back here, machine frame. It will give you your full dimensions of your machine. Don't touch this, leave it as it is. You want to know that from factory, they have already programmed this exactly how it is. So your throat and everything is specific on this control to this machine. All right, so if we have something that is gonna collide and you change this throat within the control's gonna think your throat is 18 inches, 19 inches, whatever you put it as. Just don't mess with it, leave it as it is. All right, and all this is essentially self-explanatory, right? it's going to give you all the dimensions of your machine. So if you did want to know, or if you wanted more tooling, you will have to give them your frame, your press beam, your table sizes, and your tonnage. Also your stroke and your daylight. So event logging is something that is nice to keep on. Some people do turn it off. It does use a little bit of memory, but if you keep your event logging on, you do have an error. That is something that we can go in and we can access it and say, here's your problem, here's the code, or we can route in. Maintenance, as you can see, this machine has been ran for 22 hours, almost 23 hours, with 946 strokes. From factory, these machines are ran for 20 hours and then sent to the customer. So there's a lot of runoff, there's a lot of quality control checks before it even gets to you. Again, this is essentially everything about your press brake from the electrical side. So your ePrac system, your Delem 66, your version 4.2.12, and your laser safety systems. So another cool, I mean, all controls have this, but there is a user guide here on the control. So if you do get stuck, maybe before calling somebody, you go to your user guide. All right, and that is the Ermaksan EVO III with Delem 66S. One of the other things, when you do shut down a press brake, you do want to bring that ram down. So what we're going to do is we put blocks there so the ram can sit. This always freaks me out. So I've broken the wood before. That wood has split, and that was my fault. So bring down. Tell me obstruction. Yeah, I know. So now it's going to crawl. Boom. So now we are good. Shut this off. Go around here to the corner. And we're done.